It's not proper to chop gum on an interview.
You just throw it in the grass behind you. It's like, nah.
Why would you tell Blossom Gang that? Here, come on. It's gum. It's not biodegradable.
Yes, man, come on.
All right, come on. All right, let's go. My name is Paige Johnson, and you're watching the LOCUMENTARY.
I locked my hair. Honestly, I just didn't like combing it. I didn't like styling it, didn't like combing it. So I just needed a style that can pretty much maintain itself.
What made me want to lock my hair? Definitely for cultural reasons, for getting back to our ancestral roots, and learning more of my Black history and where I've come from and a love of self, you know. And this year, October, is going to be 7 years I've been growing my hair. 7 years, yeah.
It's kind of interesting because I always looked at people with locks and I was like, oh my God, I would never do that. But I did some research and they're pretty, but it was just like, I don't know if I like versatility. But I started Blossom Effect and Blossom Gang, and I believe that following your journey is really important. And I believe that all girls believe that their hair is a very important aspect of their life. So I said, why not take my hair, lock it, and let it follow my journey? So I locked my hair.
I've wanted locks for about a year, and people were discouraging me about getting them. But I wanted to lock my hair for myself. I feel like having locks now is kind of like absorbing all of the positive energy that I can't necessarily express out loud. I don't know the difference between dreads and locks. I honestly don't know if there is a difference.
It really depends on the context in which you use it, you know. There's actually like a lot of reggae artists, like they might be, you know, like I'm dreader than dread. Like for instance, like we know how, you know, Europeans, you know, colonized a lot of the Western world and everything. And when they might see men with locks, women with locks, they may have said they was dread because they was intimidating. So their hair was intimidating to them, you know what I'm saying? And it's even still prevalent even today. Like, you know, if a man, you know, grows out his facial hair or he grows out his hair, it's like, nah, you know, you need to fit a mold. So, but preferably, you know, I would like locks, definitely, you know, locks.
I think there is a difference. I know dreads has a negative connotation. Whenever people are like, oh, I like your dreads, I'm like, oh, thank you. I've really grown to like my locks as well, just to correct them on the sly. But I don't like my hair being referred as dreads.
My locks, no.
No, because I mean, women, they wear locks as well. And I feel like if anything, if we study the research on the growing of your hair, it actually has a lot of spiritual power that's attached to it, because your hair is a extension of your central nervous system.
I think my mother thought that it would, you know, because I went natural. I cut off all my hair, and then my hair grew back. And then she was like, oh, now since your hair is long, it's cute. Like, you know, you can do girly things with it. But when I mentioned locks to her, she said, well, I think because she saw so many males with it, she was like, oh, well, some people don't keep their hair up, and, you know, it's not going to be a good look for you. I think just there's like miseducation on that part. So, yeah. Yeah, my younger male cousins have dreads.
Yeah. Actually, my twin brother, he got locks too. My older brother, he got locks. Yeah, both of my brothers got locks.
Did you and your twin lock at the same time?
Nah, he actually locked maybe like a year before me, you know. And so, you know, so I saw his process and everything. I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let me go ahead and lock mine too, you know. So, yeah.
No, I'm the first.
Do you think people look at you differently because of them?
That's a good question. I do. I don't think they look at me in a negative way. I think they look at me as like, oh my God, you're bold for doing that. I don't think my family ever took up getting locks because I think they were raised in an era where it was so important for them to kind of suppress being African. And they just kind of had to conform to what Caucasians want. So I don't think they really got to express themselves. I mean, when I was born, I know my hair was relaxed and my mom's hair was relaxed as well. So we both did the big chop together. So I think she's taking those small steps to kind of like, you know, be herself and be her natural self.
So far, no.
Do you think they will in the future?
Depending on what field I choose to pursue, they might. Especially going into like corporate America, they might affect it. But me wanting to be writer, creative side, I won't have an issue.
Nah, actually, not whatsoever. I've been working at Whole Foods for maybe 3 years now. I got a friend, his locks look just like mine. He actually works at a middle school. He's a middle school teacher. He's getting his master's degree this summer. And no, I personally haven't had any difficulty. And you said in the future, would I? No, I personally don't think so. I think the world's consciousness is definitely growing. And a lot of times I tend to wear my hair in like a tam. So it's like a cultural hair hat that I usually wear. But I just wear it out, you know, like soon I want to be laid back. But when I have it in my tam and I have my glasses on, you know, I look, you know, super professional. But I still like to embrace my African culture, my African roots, despite, you know, trying to fit into this European system.
I think it will. Just like to the eye, everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, she has locks. But I think I think America is progressive. So I think people are trying to get to know us for us. And as long as you play it well, I could pin my locks up in a bun and wear it to the side and, you know, style it. So I don't think it should really have a huge effect, but I do think people will look at it and be like, okay, this is not what I'm looking for. I think it just takes a little bit to like play with your hair and just figure out, you know, what you can do, what you can't do with your hair. But everything is possible with locks. I can still pop on a wig. I can still get braids. I can still twist them up. I can still curl them. It's all there.
I really wish people would remove the negative connotation that's associated with locks. I guess I don't really know where it'll derive from, but there's this stigma that, you know, people with locks are thugs or, you know. So I really feel people should probably do a little research on the origin and, you know, where it came from.
Did you do any research before you decided to lock your hair?
I didn't. I did research after I locked my hair, yeah.
Okay.
I would like them to know the history, you know what I'm saying? Because Andre 3000, he was like, not every dread is for the cause. So just because someone has locks, it doesn't mean they know their black history. Just because they have locks, it doesn't mean that they may eat a vegetarian diet. You know what I'm saying? Like me, like I don't eat meat. You know, I'm a vegetarian. I'm a gardener. I grow my own food. I'm really into holistic health. You know, and yeah, so that's what I would want folk to know, is that, you know, having the locks is also a part of knowing your black history and your cultural roots. That's what the main thing I want them to know is their roots and their history.
Locks are clean. They are clean. They are clean. They are clean. They don't lock in dirt. It's how you take care of them. I wash mine once every 2 weeks. So please don't think that locks are dirty, because they are not. They are not.
People are saying, you know, locks are ugly. Why your natural hair is fine? Why do you need locks? You know, you're gonna lose your hair. You're never gonna you're gonna have to cut your hair off if you don't want them anymore. And all of those things aren't true. So I was just like, wow. And it came from people who were close to me too. So I was like, wow, to think that, you know, you say you support me, but when it comes to something that I want to change, and it's my hair, you know, people have a really like kind of biased opinion towards it. So I thought that was interesting, but yeah.
And my mom tried to cut them off while I was asleep one time. Cause I had really long hair, like, and so when I told my mom I was locking it, she was like really upset. So yeah, she attempted, but I think she was just messing with me. I don't think she was really gonna cut them. And in the beginning, when I first tried to lock them, because of the type of hair that I have, they wouldn't lock at first. So I was walking around with like a little jerry curl for a little minute, but that's about it.
I guess I was in Jamaica last year and everything, and I was chopping down some bamboo in the bush, and of course, you know, like a lot of Jamaicans, they tend to, you know, lock their hair kind of like that. So me, I don't twist my hair. I don't do none of that. Like I just let it like naturally like flow. And I think it makes it thicker. I don't know if y'all familiar with the Samson Bible story, and, you know, he had 7 locks. There's no way someone could have 7 locks if they're, you know, twisting, and, you know, they had to have been natural locks. So Samson, he was a spiritual man out of the, you know, out of his mother's womb, you know, and I view myself the same. So pretty much the story would be is that like this bamboo piece, when I was in Jamaica, I had chopped down some bamboo, and I just put it on the lock, and I've been wearing it ever since. So I've been wearing it for like a year. So yeah, so this bamboo piece I got in Jamaica when I was there, and I just put it on my lock, you know.
When I first got them, I didn't know, like, I didn't know how to like wash them and retwist them. So when I first washed them, I had a bunch of new growth, and it was like a little bit of lock at the end, and then it was like poofy at the root all the way down. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I went to my loctician.
I'm Shayna Nunnally. I've been the owner of Honeecomb Salon in Atlanta for, I want to say, maybe 12 years. And the salon specializes in natural hair. We do locks, we do twists, we do afros, we do haircuts. Everything we do focuses on curly hair, and specifically, normally, Black women's hair. So we do sometimes have clients that come in that just have curly hair, but maybe they're Indian or biracial, of many different races, but primarily it's Black women. I started Honeecomb mainly because of a couple of reasons. Number one, when I was little and I was getting a relaxer as a teenager, I remember the new growth phase, right? And so I would go in my hair like this, and I would be in class like in a daze, not realizing the difference, like what is going on, the difference in my straight hair versus my curly hair. And then I ended up cutting my relaxer off when I was 16 years old. And when I was 16, it was in the 90s when that wasn't really the thing, but I just adored it. Like, I just thought I got like this short little tiny hair, and my mom kind of wore her hair like that off and on. She changed her hair a lot, and she was comfortable with it, so I never thought anything about it. And then when I started to style hair professionally, my hands would have this feeling of like, I gotta go cornrow somebody's hair. And I would find moms like, hey, do you think I could cornrow her hair? Do you think I could cornrow blah, blah, blah? And so one thing led to another, and I got hired at a natural hair salon and was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh, I'm not supposed to cuss. Okay. I was like, I could be like doing this like all the time. Like this is like a thing and a choice that I could do. And when she hired me, I didn't, she was just like, you're gonna have to do this and this. And I was super scared because I was thinking I was going to have to braid on this like exponential level. And it wasn't. It was like people just want to go to work every day and look amazing and awesome. And I always knew I wanted to have my own business. So like 9 months after that, I started Honeecomb. The biggest change that I've seen is honestly the internet. So a lot of things that you see on the internet now, me and the lady that I worked with before created those looks because we needed to show women that they could go into executive positions and have these hairstyles. So we had to create them on the fly. And then as those things started to develop, it just really just spread as the internet spread and then as YouTube spread. So I don't think women even had an idea to do their own natural hair before like the YouTubers and stuff started. And so that really changed a lot, but it didn't change our business, right? Like there was never like a competition between like YouTubers or professionals or anything. There had to be some debunking of myths, but that's just any industry. So the biggest change has just been that so many women have now gone natural that the biggest surprise to me was that now we affect other countries. So what the African American woman does with her hair and how she styles her hair. Now a woman in Switzerland does it. Now a woman in Ghana does it. Now a woman in Brazil does it. All based on like what we did here. And I never expected that. Like that was not on the radar. Like the radar was you grow your hair however you want to grow your hair and that you're the happiest with. And then I can make it look great for you. That was it. Like I didn't care if anybody had a relaxer or not. But then for it to become this whole like worldwide thing is like, heck yeah, I'm with that. For me, I'm a tad bit complex about this because for me, I'm all about just you being super duper happy and looking in the mirror and being like, that shit's dope. So whatever it is that's like, that shit is dope, that's what you should be doing. Also understand that if it's painful, that shit's not dope. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? So if it hurts, it should not be hurting. Whether your hair is natural, whether your hair is braided, whether your hair is in a weave, if it's too tight and it hurts, just don't do it. And then seek a friendly environment that can help you get the look that you want. And that salons can be weird like that. So sometimes you may have to test out a few. You know what I mean? You may so-called waste some money, but find an environment where you can have real conversations about the look that you want. You know what I mean? And being able to get that without it being painful.
I stopped getting perms months ago.
Mm-hmm.
My mother is a beautician and
Mm-hmm.
has always been my beautician.
Mm-hmm.
She used to perm my hair, and then I transitioned into wearing sew-ins, so my sister became my stylist.
Mm-hmm.
And I just eventually decided, like stuff keeps happening with my hair, it keeps falling out, or my edges are gone, and I just wanted to give it time to breathe. So I started wearing wigs so that I could take it off at night and
Mm-hmm.
oil my scalp and let
Mm-hmm.
it grow.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, like maybe 3 days ago, I wore my real hair on campus, and everyone complimented me. They were like, I've never seen your hair, it looks really good. But for me, looking in the mirror, I was like I can't walk around like this all day. I felt like I had to put on extra makeup and like make up for what I was used to seeing.
Yeah.
What do you think would be the best way for me to figure out how to deal with loving what I see when I look in the mirror?
This is an interesting thing because it's gonna have nothing to do with hair, right? And so this is a tad bit off subject, but to answer your question, I've been skinny my whole life, right? So I became an adult. As a teenager, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna get that booty, I'm gonna get that hips, like it's gonna happen. Black girls don't care about them boobs, but honey, I got to get this booty, right? You know what I'm saying? And so what I ended up having to do as an adult is every single time I would go into the shower, every single time I would put on my pajamas, like I would stand in front of the mirror and be like, that shit dope. You know what I mean? But I had to be butt naked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even got no socks on. You got to do the whole thing. I'm talking pinky toe, bitch. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I'm doing it all. And at first, it felt silly, and it was silly. You know what I mean? But I was like, I started to be very mindful about what I was saying to myself, just like you were very mindful about what you were saying to yourself. And I was like, why are you saying this? Like, who told you and why? Like, you are at this point, I'm 30 years old and you still been saying the same bullshit to yourself. Like, why? It's pointless. It's just pointless. And so I said, if I can say that to myself all the time, then I can say I'm a yes, and then take on that mindset. And I do that now all the time with so many different things. If I hear myself talking degrading to myself when I know the shit is right, then I'm gonna tell myself I know the shit is right. And that's not something people tell you to say, like mantras. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love myself and blah, blah, blah. No, you have to get in there, into your mind, and understand where that came from, why it came from that place, and then just self-talk yourself onto the other side. You know what I mean? You don't even have a clue why you think that way. And never, ever, ever think to yourself, my hair is too short, or it's too this, or it's too that. Bring the picture. Because 90% of the time, I've been able to achieve the style that the person picked out. But my hair texture don't do this. And I'm like, no, we can work with it with some flexi rods though. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's always kind of a way, but a lot of times they're just like, this shrinkage is too much. But that kind of goes back to what you were saying. A lot of times people get in our chair and the number one thing they say is, you know, because I got this nappy 4C. And I'll be like, let me let you know, whoever created that chart, all of us got 4C. All of us got 4C. It's very, very rare that when you really look at the chart, that it's really anything but 4C. Almost every black person I know has 4C. So the 4C and the 3A and all that stuff started to become like a colorism, right? Like the light skin versus she got 2A though. So, you know, she got that. And it was just a new way to say good hair.